And we are back, and we just finished watching 2022's The Batman, rated PG-13, with a runtime of 2 hours and 56 minutes. This is currently streaming on HBO Max, but it also, I think, still in theaters, right?
Yeah, I think
it's still in theaters. But thank you to Warner Brothers for throwing this up
so quickly.
Yeah. And also shout out Warner Brothers for giving credit to Bill Finger.
Yeah. Well, I think he's been on the last couple of ones,
but
Batman
it's just
outings.
not. You know what? Because we saw Batman and Bill,
Yeah.
so I remember saying I want to make sure that I saw Bill's name. I wanted to hold Warner Brothers accountable. So kudos, thank you very much. This is directed by Matt Reeves with a script by Matt Reeves and Peter Craig from the Batman character created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. I'm gonna come right off the bat and say this movie is an 8.5. This is my new favorite Batman. I really liked Pattinson's portrayal of Bruce Wayne. I think it was very realistic. It painted him as this sort of tortured person who is just trying to do the right thing. And like you had mentioned while we were watching it, that how the story didn't really focus on him, but more, not that it didn't focus on him, but it was more of like a detective story.
Yeah, it really focused on the whole solving the mystery of the Riddler, and
who it was and why he was doing the things.
Why he was doing the things he was doing, and they did a nice job as far as tying everything in and making it a personal story for Bruce Wayne as well. It wasn't just he was solving some crime from like an objective viewpoint. This whole thing involves him and his family and the roots that they have in Arkham, or not Arkham, Gotham City.
Yeah, I also liked the way obviously it's not a short movie. There's a lot of world building here, but I feel like the pacing was really well done. I didn't feel like things were rushed. I didn't feel like there was anything extra. I feel like
it didn't feel like 3 hours to me.
It didn't, right?
No.
It was really good, like well done in that.
It felt kind of long to me.
Yes.
That's just because you get bored with everything.
Yeah. This isn't for you, Olive G. I totally get that. But yeah, I think us three definitely got into this. I mean,
I didn't understand what was going on. Like that was the problem. Like they kept saying words, but they were like kind of quiet, so I couldn't really hear them. And like whenever they explained something, it was always so confusing. Because they're like using these weird words.
What weird words were they using?
I don't know. It was just weird.
I gotta be honest. I think that you weren't interested from the start, and that's fine. This isn't your type of movie.
Talking when he was explaining things, when he was supposed to be explaining things.
This is not really for you. This is a dark kind of character. You're nothing like this. I don't see you liking any of this kind of stuff, so I could totally see why you would be.
This is almost like more of like a crime drama,
right? Which you
than
have
a superhero
no
movie.
interest in.
Yeah, like if this was more colorful and exciting, like Avengers or the usual Marvel fare,
or My Little Pony,
you'd probably be more interested in. But this seriously was like a crime drama. I mean, he could have not been wearing a bat suit. He could have just been some detective guy. You know?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, but he's Batman. So.
He is Batman. The most recognizable of the superheroes.
Yeah, I really did like the fact that they played up the whole he's a detective angle, and it wasn't just him running around punching stuff. I really like the world building in this. I think it really made sense. I felt like, listen, prior to this, I guess my Batman was Christian Bale, but I kind of liked that this world felt believable. I mean, I get that Bruce Wayne is like this multi-billion-dollar kind of person, but at the same time, I feel like the apparatuses here, his suit, all his accoutrements were more rooted in the real world. They were more grounded. I feel like they were a bit more grounded. I mean, they sort of tried that with the Christian Bale stuff, but I mean, he also had some crazy stuff.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Like, I get that Lucius was this guy who created all this really great tech, but at the same time, it was like, I also appreciate movies where the hero gets a beating too.
Yeah,
like this guy, he wasn't indestructible.
No, he got
like when he got and he was injured, like hanging off that thing.
Yes, yeah. I guess she didn't want to know because that's towards the end. I don't know if G felt like that was the thing to say.
No, I mean, I would say
this year. So
it's safe to say that he does take a beating in a couple of instances.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets knocked out.
Yeah.
He's not like completely impervious. I mean, they showed that also with like the Christian Bale stuff too. Like, I mean, he was taking a beating in a lot of those movies as well.
Bane destroyed him.
Even in the beginning of the third one, he could. I don't know if it was more of an act or anything, but he could barely walk, and it made sense. I mean, a normal man jumping the heights that he jumps and punching people constantly, he's going to have a lot of joint issues.
Trauma.
Yeah.
Body
he's
trauma.
Need a lot of ointments and Doan's pills and back pads. Those weird cups that they light candles under and stick them to your back. Those things. What? Strange
New age
treatments.
Stuff.
New age.
But I really. So I'm gonna say this is my new favorite Batman. I loved the whole just palette here. The cinematography was beautiful to me.
Yeah, Gotham City is just
a wreck.
A grungy dump. You don't want to live there.
They portrayed it really well. Like, it was dark and grimy.
Every street had a trestle over it.
And it was
also there are a bunch of papers like on the subway. They're just everywhere.
Yeah, those dirtiest subway stations I've ever seen. I was like, it felt like 70s New York.
Yeah, honestly, seriously, you could have had like the Warriors just do a cameo in the background.
And you sort of have that gang at the beginning, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite character, G?
Probably not.
No? Did you have a favorite scene?
There are a lot of good ones, but I kind of laughed when he had jumped off that building and then knocked into the bus.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, that part. Yeah.
Because like it wasn't.
I saw that. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that was another.
He looked like so cool. You know, you thought he was going to have a smooth landing. You know, he was gracefully flying through the air, but all of a sudden crash, and then he just fell on his face.
There was more evidence of him taking some licks.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, making my smooth getaway. No. Those damn trestles over the street screwed him up.
So I thought something was going to happen, and it didn't. I thought that when we finally find out who Riddler was, that he was going to have a tie to the bigger story that's being portrayed. But it didn't go that way, or at least it wasn't. None of that was offered into evidence. So.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe it could still have been part of that, but they didn't really go there. They
made it seem like he was just a victim of circumstances.
Basically the system. Yeah.
So,
and kudos to Paul Dano. He did an amazing job.
Yeah.
He was just deranged. I mean, and he is like, he's got that face where you could see him playing like this sort of like sweaty lunatic.
Yeah. Especially when he smiled. He looked crazed when he smiled.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got that weird milky face, thin lips.
Yeah. No, I mean, watching it is terrifying because I think at one point, what did you say? And like when you said that, I was like, yeah. What was it? The thing about the internet facilitates these lunatics getting together?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, seriously, it was like he had a Facebook group and
oh, God.
I mean, the internet's supposed to, it's the wealth of knowledge brought to you, making the world a better place. And all it's really doing is uniting lunatics and letting them know that, hey, you're not alone. Yeah. I'm crazy too. let's all get together and I don't know,
cause
like
havoc.
kill the mayor, kill random people. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's all have a rally where we.
Olive G, did you have a favorite scene in this film?
No.
Did you have a favorite character?
No.
You didn't like Catwoman?
No.
What?
What?
She was
Catwoman
cool.
was great.
She was able to beat people up.
Yeah. She beat people with her hands and feet.
Yeah.
She didn't even need a weapon.
Everybody did it great. Zoe Kravitz was great as Catwoman. Pattinson, great as Batman. Dano, great as the Riddler.
Colin Farrell is unrecognizable. Is he a method actor?
I don't know. I couldn't even.
Holy smokes. I was like, who is that?
You couldn't even recognize his eyes. Like usually even when somebody's buried under prosthetics, you could say, oh, I see the eyes.
Yeah, he was completely unrecognizable.
He was unrecognizable, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was he?
He was the
Penguin, the big guy that kind of is going to take over.
Tried to shoot.
He sort of had like weird scars on his face.
He's the one that Batman was chasing.
He was chasing him in the car.
In the car, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think of something that you've seen Colin Farrell in when he
After
looks normal.
Yang, Fright Night.
Fright Night. He was the vampire in Fright Night.
He was the vampire in Fright Night.
It's that guy?
Yeah.
What?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Looks,
unrecognizable.
It's a totally different man.
I know. I was like, what in the hell? What is going on here?
That can't be true.
No.
That is him.
Absolutely.
And I hear that they're going to do an HBO Max TV show about that character.
About
Penguin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd watch it. This film was hella fun. This is like my new favorite Batman. Okay, so my new favorite Batman, Michael Caine is still my favorite Alfred.
Yeah. I mean, Andy Serkis
was
was good, but you did, like you said, you didn't see much Alfred there.
Gary Oldman's still my favorite. Jim Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon, yeah.
Zoe Kravitz, definitely my favorite Catwoman.
Yeah.
I mean, who's Michelle Pfeiffer and Anne Hathaway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's definitely the GOAT. Falcone, I like Tom Wilkinson, but
honestly, Turturro was great.
I
mean, you don't really see him in a lot of menacing roles.
But he's definitely
he's usually a goofball or a weirdo. I was going to
say, yeah.
This time, he really looked like portrayed a scary dude.
Yeah.
He looked like he'd hurt someone.
Yeah, he was very.
I mean,
menacing.
he was willing to kill you know who, and that's
who. No, I'm just kidding. No spoilers.
Yeah. But yeah, he was great in it. Jeffrey Wright was great as he was good as Commissioner Gordon. Actually, although he's not a commissioner yet.
Yes. Let's not jump the gun.
Yeah, everybody was good.
Everybody was really good in this. Yeah, I was really. I mean, you always go into these things kind of cautiously optimistic. I mean, again, Batman is such an iconic character. Probably, as we learned from Batman and Bill, the most iconic of the supers.
You could go to
go to the middle
village
of the desert
in South America where they haven't spoken to people in 40 years, and you'll be like, "Do you know what this is?" And they'll be like, "Batman."
Exactly. So, I mean, as the premier super, it's always nice when it's done well, and this is done really, really well from top to bottom. I appreciated, like you said, that this is more of like a detective story. It's a great origin story, but without, because I think the story of Bruce Wayne is so
they didn't waste time.
You don't even have to exactly
they didn't
go
really
into
waste time showing another portrayal of Bruce's parents getting murdered in an alley,
which is nice. It's like everybody knows the backstory, so you can just sort of jump into it.
It's like, let's just get to it.
So a lot of the world building that happened in this film felt well done because it wasn't rehashing old stuff.
They didn't waste any extra time.
Yeah, I agree. Do we want to add anything else here without giving away anything? I feel like we don't want to spoil this because this is still brand new. It just came out, I think, yesterday on HBO Max, and I think it's going to premiere this weekend on HBO Max on the Saturday night movie.
You meant on HBO?
On regular HBO. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't spoil anything. You should go into it fresh. I mean, you know who Batman is.
Batman is,
so there's no spoilers there. But watch it, enjoy it. If you enjoy Batman stories, if you enjoyed detective stories with mystery,
or just good stories. I feel like this was a really, I mean,
there was kind of almost a Seven vibe there in the way they portrayed the Riddler's character.
Yeah. That's actually a good comparison.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of homage to that. To that character in that movie.
And the setup in just the streets and stuff, like it's very sleek, even though it's a filthy city.
Disgusting.
Very filthy, but still beautifully shot.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's like Alaska. It's always dark in Gotham.
It's always dark. And
I think we saw like one sunrise.
I think we saw one sunrise.
And it's always either raining or it just finished raining.
Yes.
Because I don't think there was a dry street ever. Ever in that movie.
And with all that rain, and yet it was still the filthiest place ever.
Even after the
rain could wash it away. Yeah. Exactly, Jay. Exactly.
Nothing to get rid of the filth of Gotham.
Yeah, but just really well done, top to bottom. I like the suit. I think
the
that's
suit
another
looked great.
thing. Yeah,
I like that it was like very bulletproof.
Yeah.
But he didn't look bulky. He didn't look like he couldn't move his head.
Yeah.
He looked like he could move in the damn thing. I think what helps is that Robert Pattinson is not a muscle man.
No.
He didn't go on the Marvel diet for this. He looks
doesn't
fit.
have Chris Hemsworth's
he looks fit, but he's not
overdone.
He's not bulked out where like, okay, now we're going to add armor to it. Where he just looks like this towering beef castle. He's just like, yeah. So
what was it? The only thing missing was him talking about the lamentation of the women.
Oh my God.
Crushing the enemy.
Crush your enemies. But yeah, this is good. Go watch this.
Yeah. And it felt almost noir-ish, right?
Very.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Deep shadows. They really played with the shadows well.
Excellent
ambience as far as the sound goes, building those moments like when they first show him when he's coming up that dark hallway to beat those gang members up.
Oh my God, that was so cool. Yeah. I felt like even from the beginning, like my excitement after that particular scene completely ramped up.
Yeah.
Because
and I was like, the way he was beating them up was very just vicious, extremely vicious, but it also wasn't overly choreographed.
No.
There was like some sloppy moments where it looked more like a genuine street fight than some, I know amazing kung fu and I'm blocking and breakdance fighting. It wasn't none of that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And like when you see Pattinson without the shirt on, like you see the scars.
Yeah, he's messed up. And well, there's something I want to say, but you know what? I'm just going to save it because I think the less people know, the better. Absolutely. If you have HBO Max and you have kids and you don't want to pay too much and go to the theater, go check out Matt Reeves, The Batman. You will not be disappointed. It is everything that people are saying. For the Marvel haters, you want something a little bit darker, grittier.
Here's your movie. Absolutely. Yep. Olive G, scale of 1 to 10. What are we going to give this movie?
A 7.
A 7?
I give it like an 8.5.
I too would give it an 8.5.
I'll give it an 8.5 as well.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good.
Not perfect, but it's pretty good.
Really good.
Yeah, Matt Reeves did a really, really, really good job, and I hope that. I mean, this was successful, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll get money to get a second.
This was successful financially, critically. Yeah.
Yeah, and just also good script writing, not overly complicated script, but really well done. The intricacies of the story unfold really well and just flow into so that you kind of solve this mystery. So hats off to Matt Reeves and Peter Craig for the script on this. Matt Reeves' direction, amazing. Mm-hmm. Really, kudos to the costumers, the set designers, the cinematographer, the actors. Everything here came together really, really well. Really exciting. It's funny because you can sort of geek out and stuff, but when all these other elements as a film lover come together, it's exciting. It's exciting to see. And especially with, again, like a character that's as iconic as Batman is. So
yeah.
Okay. That's it from us, and we will bid you all a good night.
Good night.
See this. Go see this. Go see the Batman.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.